Well, good afternoon from Marie at Messy M Creations. I hope you are well and not melting in the heat. I am a bit late as my due to get some plants delivered, and of course, when did they arrive? Exactly as I was about to press the go live button on Facebook. So I have a buddleia and a clematis to add to my collection. So I need to make sure they get in this weekend, because by all accounts, if I get them in this weekend, they're going to get well watered next week, aren't they? So let me just get myself organised slightly, because he discombobulated me, so we're not set up on my tablet just yet. So if you are with me live, please do say hi, and if you're watching on catch up, please let me know. It's great to know that you've managed to take some time out to watch. Hopefully you'll find a cool moment to watch it if you haven't caught it live. And if you are watching live, you're in a cool corner, hopefully. Right, let's find out. There we go. Thank you, Jill. Appreciate it. Hopefully you're feeling cool. And hi, Jeanette. Hopefully you are sitting somewhere cool as well. And for the first time since I've been showing you new things, I can show you the inside of the new catalogue. So today we are playing with, get to my little yellow, Life is Beautiful. So I have, oh hello, what happened there? Why did that do that? Bear with, just having a techie challenge. Oh, sorry, and you really don't want to hear my voice twice over, do you? Bear with. God, facial recognition really is a pain in the... Right, there we go. I was looking for my face, bless it. So I have used, I think on one of my one sheet wonders, I may have used these little dots from Life is Beautiful. And as you can see in the catalogue, and the catalogue is a great thing for kind of casing ideas. So they've got kind of one in all the kind of paler greens, and that has these little kind of snowflake star ones. There's one with the balls and one with the kind of traditional leaves, and then other things that you've seen me play with is obviously Snowflake Splendor. Was it only this week that I went through those beautiful papers on Snowflake Splendor? That whole suite is absolutely stunning. Then obviously, as Jeanette knows, Christmas Gleaming is back, so Jeanette's getting excited for that to arrive from Tara. And earlier on I used the gift wrapped bundle a few weeks ago, probably now, because I've been giving you a little dose of Christmas for a while. So I think this is brilliant for Christmas, but absolutely fantastic for birthdays, any kind of celebration that you wrap a present for. So I've just curled the ribbon there. So yeah, they're the things I've got. And then what we always have in our Stampin' Up catalogues is a little wish list. And I'm in a little Christmas swap group. So, well, it's not a Christmas swap group at all. It's a card swap group, and I wasn't overly enamoured with this one, but look at that cute little card, and that one, 2 cards, maybe that little fella. So that put that set on my little wish list, and I think they would also be great to use all the year round. I think you could make them anything. And then the other one on my little wish list, can you only believe I've got 2? You know that's going to change though as well, don't you, as I see more and more samples, because this was one of the samples and I was like, oh, I love that. So that's gone on my list as well. So a little swap group. I set the challenge and I decided to do Christmas in July. So yes, currently I've only got 2 things on my wish list, if you choose to believe that. So Life is Beautiful comes with a tree, which because I want to use, I've lost my plate with it on, there it is, comes with this fantastic little bird box as well. So I thought the Stamparatus would be better to get that lined up. And then, so I've kind of, what I thought, I've gone with pumpkin pie, cinnamon cider and mossy meadow, hoping that will give me an autumnal feel. And then old olive, granny apple green and shaded spruce to give me a summery tree. So we'll see. And then the interesting thing that I did do while playing earlier was kind of made 2 cards in one, and so stamped 2 trees, covered one with the leaves and then cut a circle out and then swapped those. So that kind of summer and winter seasonal thing. Can't decide what greetings need to go on those cards, or whether they needs to be for maybe a change of life circumstance or something. I don't know. I just thought it was a cute idea to do. And of course you could do that sort of style with autumn on one side and summer on the other. You know, we can do a seasonal thing as well. So what I actually need to do is what I did, hashtag fail, was I need a piece of, I'm just going to use today, unusually for me, I am not going to use shimmery white, I'm going to use Whisper White. Bear with, it's a new pack. Let's release a piece of Whisper White from the pack, and we'll do a couple of cards. So let's just cut this in half down the centre, and then in half down the centre the other way, and then we'll get going. So hopefully you won't end up in a puddle over the next few days. Or from something I saw, we could... oh, hi Jane, sorry I've been chatting away and missed you. Thank you for joining me. We're going to be in a puddle for a few days, and then because of the heat, and then we're going to be in another puddle because of all the rain. So, oh, don't we just love being in Britain? So, here we go. So, yeah, as I say, just for positioning of that little bird box. So I've positioned this so the card is in that top... Oh, no, I haven't. I did it on a bigger piece of card earlier. Kind of one line down. So let's... all we need to do is position that correctly and position that correctly. And somehow my magnet had floated off. And I can't decide what I prefer for the tree, but I'm going to go with this one for soft suede. So I've got soft suede or early espresso, and I tried a tree in both earlier. So I was talking with a friend about the wonders of the Stamparatus yesterday, because she sometimes struggles to get an even stamp. So the joy of the Stamparatus is, can you see where I've not quite made that correct stamp there? I can go in exactly the same way again. Now if you'd used a spare block, you would not be able to do that accurately, so I can go in as many times as I want, and that will just keep going to the same place. So I'm going to do both trees first. So that's the, I might do them both in soft suede today actually. And use the early espresso for the little bird box. So ink up my tree again. Now the other thing is, and I don't condone this as a course of action, don't get ink deliberately absolutely everywhere. However, when you're using a Stamparatus, that ink will not go onto your card base. And you can see, so again I can go in and that ink doesn't transfer. As I say, I don't recommend it as a course of action to get ink everywhere, because it's messier to tidy up and wasteful of your ink really. So let's just get that in position. So what I'm going to do with the little bird box is position that where I want it on the tree. So because these are photopolymer stamps, I can see really accurately to get that in position so that it just dangles from the tree. So pop the plate over, pick it up. Bit of a ink up. And then pop it over and it will be in exactly the right place. Dingly dangling from the tree. And potentially that could happen if you were using a block, but it wouldn't be as guaranteed. So yeah, because I had the tree in the same position and I know the set card position, this will go. So fantastic if you want to create multiple cards. So there we go with the Stamparatus. So if you wanted to do, well, the ideal one is the one in the catalogue. If you were casing, so casing, copy and share everything. Of course I've taken my wee post-it note out now, so I won't be able to find it, of course. That, oh, there it is. So that one, to me, you could make quite Christmassy because of those splodges. So you could make a whole load quite quickly and easily with that. Now, so let us start with, let's get rid of that brown. Now I'm going to do the autumn, bleh, easy for me to say, the autumnal one with the leaf pattern, and then the summery one with the other leaf pattern, with the other circular pattern. Now, key thing is these do not line up in any way, shape or form. So you just kind of place it wherever you want to place it. I did spend a while earlier trying to work out if it did line up, and it absolutely doesn't, so don't try. So kind of what I'm hoping, stamp off excess ink, then use our little chamois. What, a Stamparatus, Jane? Well worth the investment, I would say. Well, I guess it depends, Jane, on how accurate you are at stamping and how many cards you do in multiples. Because I think at Christmas potentially, if you want to do a lot of cards, the Stamparatus would speed up the process. Yeah, I mean, it's but yeah, the friend I was talking to yesterday about it, she'd had a stamp that she thought the stamp was faulty and was going to wanted to buy a new stamp set. So I said, can I check the stamps before you buy another stamp set? Because she thought it was the stamp set, and unfortunately it was her stamping technique. So with the Stamparatus, all solved. I don't know if I can get away with popping that. I just want a difference in more leaves over that side. So just wondering if it would work to... No, I'm not going to do that. So if you have those moments where a stamp slightly shifts as you put it down. So essentially I'm saving her the cost of buying another set of stamps, or because she wanted greetings, several stamps, sets of stamps. So, you know, it's kind of goes towards buying the Stamparatus really, doesn't it? So on the other one, so there's our autumn. And on this one, so this is literally just circles, so it's going to be a slightly more abstract appearance. A stamp you can use either way up. So just as I say, it doesn't line up with anything, just popping it on there. I'm going to do those 2 in 2 so that it kind of meets in the middle. So that's our shaded spruce. A bit of old olive. Oh, hello. I don't know what happened there. Lost you for a minute. Technology. I think the technology is overheating. There we go. Technology just had a little crash on me there. Back in the room. So, I mean, you could of course choose to do this in a single colour. I think it's quite fun to do it in a few different colours. So you've got kind of one as a more realistic leaf pattern and one as a fun one. And at some point, I'll do a little Christmassy one. So, oh, paste the one in the catalogue. The one in the catalogue shows off some paler greens, but I've got a bit of a blue thing going on for Christmas at the moment, so I think we could do something nice in a couple of different shades of blue as well. Just going to get some leaves down into that. Quite fun, isn't it? So we're just literally simple stamping. So the tree, it doesn't, you need a very big block for the tree, but the leaves all fit on the standard block. And then I think we might do a little banner for Life is Beautiful on one. And then, oh, actually, should we pick out the pumpkin pie and do a thinking of you? Where on that side I'm thinking, on the opposite side of that little bird box. I like the font there, that's rather nice, isn't it? Because these both need cutting down to turn into cards. No, I did a Life, no, not Life. To a Wild Rose is a multiple stamped set, Jane, which, so yeah, any stamp that you need to layer up is really useful to have the Stamparatus, because you can line them all up before you stamp them down. So what we need, I'm just going to put them on a white card base. Let's just score these. So I already have them cut, so I do need to remember to use just the scoring blade. But yeah, Stampin' Up! Do have several stamp sets that you can layer up the stamps, so the Stamparatus does make it. I'm trying to think if I did with the Joseph's coat or not, I can't remember. I've done so many. So has anybody got any exciting plans for the weekend? I've got 2 plants to plant, that much we do know. So simple white card bases. Then I think I'd rather like this pumpkin pie, so I'm going to do a layer in pumpkin pie. Quite a autumnally type colour, isn't it? Well, I think at the moment we need to be thinking icy thoughts, don't we, really, rather than... So taking ½ centimetre off for that layer, so that is 10 by 14.4. So what are you doing on your day off then, Jane? I hope you've got something fun planned. Hi, Ali. Oh, that felt different, and it's because it's Stampin' Seal Plus. Right, Stampin' Seal Plus, be careful. Because Stampin' Seal Plus is very unforgiving. So I need to then cut this. So, hang on, let's just do, I'm just going to move a few things. Because essentially, because this is 10, this is going to be 9.5 in width. So if I do that, you can see how it's very slightly over. So I kind of need to take a little bit of either side to get to my 9.5. So you can see I've cut the teeny weeniest. You have 2 rough tomatoes. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, that was yesterday. I'll tell you, the damn things are taking a blooming long time. Well, I mean, to be fair, the orange ones I think are ripe. So I have got 3 varieties. I've got a variety that produces orange tomatoes. One that Oh, why did I cut some off the top there? Oh, I've got a big old gap down the bottom. One that is a traditional red tomato and one that's quite purpley. But they are taking their blooming time to ripen, I can tell you. But I reckon... chatting away, I'm getting my measurements all wrong. Yeah, with my tomatoes, Jill, I started stopping them growing any further by cutting the tops out, and that seems to have encouraged them to do something. Now, for reasons best known to somebody else, and not me, because I wasn't concentrating, I cut a bit off the top, so I've now got a big white gap at the bottom, so we need to decide what we're doing about that, don't we? Needs something at the bottom now, doesn't it? Right, let's try not to do that with this one. Let's remember that we're going to be 13.9. And of course on this one I'll have space for the greeting. Oh, Jeanette, I'm with you. I am so with you on that one. Yes, I suffer. You must suffer with the same affliction I do. The old blooming swollen ankle thing, so it gets quite uncomfortable. My legs do not like the heat. So this is perfect for this one because the greeting can go at the bottom. But you can see how, so if we put it on a darker base, the whole thing becomes darker. If I put it onto a granny apple base, just lifts it a bit. Yeah, crafting and gardening is just, it's just nicely chilled, isn't it? So, oh, might be a bit late for mine. I think my leaves are probably trailing everywhere. The blooming things went wild. Right, so we need to make a decision on green. So as and when you play catch up, which green do you think? But in the meantime, as Jeanette said, ground it. And I think what she's talking about, and what I've realised in the set, is you get this little diddy thing that's for grounding. So, oh, I'm going to stick with doing the mossy meadow. I don't want to bring another green in. Have a nice dark green. Oh, you know, with a bit of masking, we could even get a few leaves on the ground. It's getting a bit technical, isn't it? Oh, that might be quite nice, actually. How about that? We could add a little bit of grounding. A whole nother meaning to. Put a few little splodges. I'm never ace at grounding things. See, some people it just looks brilliant. But what I'm thinking is, I could also, What I need is a little leaf. Got too many. I'm wondering, I'm going to try. Don't forget to choose me a green. Look, if I just ink up 4, I can if I'm really careful, I can ink up 4 little leaves. We can have some falling leaves. How about that? You do have to be very careful to do it. I'm literally just right on the edge of the stamp set, just inking up a few of them. You could even have a few falling like that, couldn't you? Obviously, got to make sure there's no ink on any other part of the stamp as you're stamping it, otherwise you'll quite like that. Ooh, go me and my funny ideas. So do we think on the background for the other one, are we thinking granny apple green, mossy meadow, or old olive? Light, medium, or dark? Let me do a few little cinnamon leaves. It's just been really careful, right on the edge of the stamp, on the ink pad. Oh, look, that one's kind of almost. Oh, it's almost like I planned it. Just making sure it's absolutely nothing. The lightest green, yeah, that's the granny apple, that's what I think. It's got a few splodges there I'm going to cover. There you go. Something else you can do with it. Use the edges of the stamps. Right, let's just pop that onto there, and then we'll do our lovely bright. Oh, she's done it again. She's Stampin' Seal Plus has found its way into my hand, which means you get absolutely no movement once it's on there. So there we go. So then we can get rid of these, and I think along the bottom here we can just in granny apple green, because personally I like to coordinate the ink of the writing with the cardstock. That's just my personal thing. Life is beautiful. Scraggy, I don't know, you probably can't see it, there's a little scraggy edge along there, so I always in my craft room have a nail file handy. That was a tip I learned on a Let's Get Creative craft day. Oh, I haven't cut me a bit of that's very long. Yeah, there was a lady on a Let's Get Creative card day sitting there with her nail file, and she was just using it to neaten off any edges, and I was like, what a fantastic idea. So I have a nail file dedicated to. There we go. Excellent when a plan comes together. Let's use our standard Stampin' seal. Not our... It's funny how they feel quite different when you're taping with them. Oh, hello. Come to the end. Always have one on standby. Here we go. Yeah, it is. It's not far off it. I think Granny Apple's probably just slightly darker. That lemon and lime twist was gorgeous, wasn't it? Loved that colour. There we go. So, oh, no, Marie, forward. Pull towards you with no pressure. It's a little mantra going through my head. Actually, that didn't go through my head, that came out loud. As soon as you start doing silly things like that, it doesn't like it. So make sure the card base is the right way round, and we can pop our card on there. So there we go, ladies. Just needs a bit of a scoosh with the old bone folder. So we have autumn and summer. This one with a few little leaves around the bottom, that with just the greeting along the bottom, and the ones that I showed earlier, that I did make earlier, where literally I just created a tree like that, and just a simple plain tree, and then cut a circle out. Obviously one of them has a bird thingy on and one of them doesn't, but no one's going to pick me up on that, are they? So there you go. So that is the set Life is Beautiful from the new catalogue, and I think it'll be great with these little, they're kind of not stars and they're not snowflakes, they're little things. that is going to be a Christmas card, which is where the Stamparatus will come into itself for sure. So you could create loads of trees, loads of little bird boxes, and then do all the detail stamping. So hopefully you found that enjoyable and interesting, and have a fantastic weekend, everybody, and stay cool and then stay dry is the key to the next week, I think. So take care of yourselves, have fun, bye.